Um, how's your threshold for pain if we were to dive into your VA hiring process?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm excited. What do we
Yeah.
need to know?
So
What are the goals? Like, the crash course in just being an absolute badass like Nathan Hirsch.
yeah. So again, to give a background, because I like giving background. So I'm a 20-year-old college kid. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm making a good amount of money selling on the Amazon. My parents tell me I should probably pay taxes. So I meet with an accountant, and the first thing he asked me is, "When are you going to hire your first person?" And I shrug him off. I'm like, "Why am I going to do that? It's money out of my pocket. They're going to steal my ideas. They're going to hurt my business. I can do this 7 days a week forever." And he just laughed in my face and said, "Hey, you're going to learn this lesson on your own." Well, sure enough, my first busy season comes around and I just get destroyed. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I'm doing it all by myself. And I work 20 hours a day for 6 weeks to just get through. And my grades are down, my social life's gone. I get to January and I think to myself, man, I can never do this again. I need to hire people. So again, I'm 20. I post a job on Facebook. This guy in my business law class says, "Hey, I don't know what you do. I need a job." Hire him on the spot without interviewing him. And I get lucky. This is my partner, Connor. We've been working together ever since. I made him my business partner a few years
Right.
later. But there I am thinking, man, this hiring thing is easy. You post a job, people show up, they make your life easier. And I just proceed to make bad hire after bad hire after bad hire, hiring college kids that did not care about my business. They were smoking weed on the job, drinking on the job. I had to bang on their dorms to get them to wake up and show up for work. So I kind of realized this isn't a good solution. And I didn't think hiring adults was an option in my mind. Like, why would a 40-year-old want to work for a 20-year-old? So a buddy of mine introduced me to a virtual assistant. And at the time, I didn't even know where the Philippines was on the map. I hired my first person from the Philippines and just learned a lot over the next few years about their culture and how to communicate with them and what I look for in a hire. And from there, we kind of built out our hiring process that we've been using for I don't even know, 10 years now. And if you think of hiring, you got to break it down into interviewing, onboarding, training, and managing. So with interviewing, we call it our care interview process: communication, attitude, red flags, and experience. So we learned that when you just hire people for experience, a lot of times it doesn't work out. There's other things that you need to care about. So they need to be able to communicate at a high level. They, yes, obviously speak English because I only speak English, but they have to be able to understand what you're saying and get on the same page quickly and not go in circles. If I'm communicating with someone on Slack, they need to be able to respond quickly and not waiting 5 minutes in between response time. They have to be able to use things appropriately. So email me when it should be emailed, Slack when I should be emailed, or Slack when I should be Slack. For attitude, we try to avoid people that only care about money. There's always people out there that can pay your VAs more than you can. So if you're only competing on money, that's a tough place to be. We want people who care about growth, who want to be leaders, who care about self-improvement, who read books on the side, who learn just for fun. Those are the kind of people that we look for. And to kind of add one last thing, and I'll let you jump in here, red flags. A lot of times when people interview, they're looking for the right answers. I once took a college class on how to BS interviews, essentially. People are good at that. So you want to be looking for the wrong answers. What is someone telling me that shows they don't have the communication that I need in my company, that they don't have the right attitude, they don't have the experience that I need? That's what I'm doing for the interview. And when a red flag comes up, I'm digging into that. I want to find out more before I move forward to the next question.
I think people are the most important part of business. I've said, especially in the agency space, and you and I are more or less in the agency space. I know, in e-com and agency, all you have are the three Ps. There's people, programs, and processes. And programs and processes are commoditizable. And so then it centers on people. And I think what most entrepreneurs do wrong is they assume that people are all the same. Kind of like you were talking about 20-year-old Nathan did. 20-year-old Kasim did the exact same thing. It was like, oh, you're a cog, and I'm going to put the cog on the assembly line, and you're going to work the way that cogs are supposed to work, and it'll be predictable, and I'll just and that wasn't true at all. I found that a good hire was worth 100x a mediocre hire, and a bad hire cost me 10x just not having somebody. There's nothing more expensive than a cheap employee. So I love your model. I love the way that you're looking for people, and I love that you obviously have a heart and a passion for people. And that gets real weird to talk about. You know, it gets a little touchy feely, like we're supposed to be in business here and it's all down to the numbers and what's the bottom line. But really, it's like, hey, how about putting people in a position to grow or to contribute or to feel like they're doing meaningful work? And then when I make an exit, how about I snap off a little piece for them too? And you're doing all those things, man. And it sounds